This week's scenario is Entrenched from the 2016 Steamroller package. The scenario does not have the Killbox Artifice effect and consists of two rectangular zones. The friendly zone can be dominated for 1 CP. The enemy zone can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 2 CPs, but not until the enemy objective has been destroyed for 1 CP. Victory conditions consist of 5 control points or caster assassination.
Hey everyone, this is Gaston, and today we're playing Retribution's newest Warcaster, Elara, Death's Shadow. I do apologize for such a gap between multiple Retribution videos. I've just been trying to get an army painted up, and I'm finally hitting the point where I have enough models to start building lists, so you can look for some more of these in the future. So when I first looked at Elara's rules, I had thought that she would be effective but boring. You know, she didn't really have the dynamic playstyle like I was used to with Ron, and I have to admit, I was totally wrong. She is a ton of fun to play. I've just really enjoyed her toolkit and everything she can do and bring to the table. This particular army is rather vanilla. I took kind of something for each of her abilities, so you have the Sentinels, will benefit from the Scything Touch. You have the Invictors, who I also really like with Scything Touch because of Assault. You kind of get to double down on them, but also they benefit from her ability to boost the shooting, to remove stealth, and then you have Discordia there to help, you know, keep the army alive on the way in, since there's really not a lot there to help with that.
My deployment for this game, I had the Green Gators to the far right, all lined up so that they can run and then we can space them out better. Then I put the Wrastler behind a little bit, the last Green Gator, followed by the Swamp Horror, the Spitter, the Boneswarm, behind him a little bit, one Snapper, then my Blue Gators, another Snapper, the Bog Trog Misspeaker is behind the Snapper and the Blue Gators a little bit, followed by Maelok being behind the two Snappers.
The other thing that I've really found with Elara is that she's a very aggressive caster. She, like I said earlier, doesn't do anything to protect your army, to, you know, bump defenses, bump armor, so it's all about hitting hard, hitting fast, and hitting quickly before your opponent gets a chance to wear you down. In that vein, there's a lot of things here. I opted to go first. I'm being very, very aggressive with how I'm running forward, and I'm also kind of paying attention to what he has here. He does have the Turtle, and kind of the Turtle is actually a very good counter to things like the masked Weapon Master spam that Retribution likes to run when you're taking Sentinels, because it's a 4-inch pie plate of continuous corrosion. And so a lot of people, they want to really cluster up the Invictors, cluster up the Sentinels to get those armor bonuses, but then you just get this pie plate that automatically kills you. So what you're seeing here is when I run the Invictors and when I run the Sentinels, really going to start spreading them out. I'm not too terribly concerned on turn 1, but I am much more concerned, the following turns after that. I had also included in here the Dawnguard Scyir. The idea behind him was to have the Invictors be able to shoot through the Sentinels, to be able to move through each other. Just because of the way the terrain impacted this game, I don't think that's actually going to happen, so he just ended up being on the top flank there. Otherwise, Scything Touch went on Imperatus. That's kind of an obvious one because of the threat ranges. Discordia did run and put up the bubble of armor, and otherwise, there wasn't a lot to do for turn 1.
Turn 1, we activate the Green Gators. They run up, chanting Dirge of Mist. The Wrastler then activates and he runs up, burning a point of fury. The Swamp Horror activates, he runs and burns a point of fury. The Spitter activates, runs up and burns a point of fury. Followed by the two Bull Snappers that walk up and take positions behind Swamp Horror and Spitter. Boneswarm runs, burning a point of fury. The Misspeaker activates, Maelok then activates. He moves up and casts Death Pact on the green gators. The blue gators then run up and activate Chanting Dirge of Mist.
So we each got a turn of running. Now it's time to start getting to work. Going to go ahead, use Sylys Upkeep Scything Touch for free. And then I'm also going to use the Apparition Movement with my Arc Node and with Elara, just making sure that the Arc Node is within her control area, so that way he can get the bonus focus there. I have a bit of an advantage in this game, is that I play minions as well, so I sort of know kind of what the dangers are, what the threat ranges are. His list is different from the Maelok list that I typically would run, where I would run it more as a gun line. And one of the things is, when you start running the more traditional Maelok brick list with the Gatorman Posse, is that gun lines are really good at taking out Posse. It's just one of those things that change with the addition. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to look with Elara, I'm going to look to move on up, tag the Posse with her spell Mark for Death, so that way they lose the defense there. And then we're going to have the Invictors pop their mini feet, and they're going to start blowing them up. And that's what they're going to do. I mean, you know, you can talk about terrain in these games, you know, we get those comments a lot, but his army's incorporeal, my army's got Ghost Walk on my feet turn, and the Gatorman Posse are going to benefit from concealment as far as they want, so there's not a whole lot terrain would really change here, because, you know, they're already getting the benefits. So we have Wishnova going. He's going to put up, was it Wield Secrets, I think, is the name of the ability on our Elara, just to give her that additional die, and she's going to boost to Mark for Death on the Posse members. Pick one at random. She'll hit it, no problem, and then she's going to spend 2 to teleport away, so you can get kind of that yo-yo effect. The question is kind of, where do I want to teleport? I don't want to give the turtle a free shot on Elara, and with the Mist-Speaker there, he's going to be able to ignore that cloud with Eyeless Sight. So I can either back her up onto the hill to get that +2 defense, or just back her up completely out of his range to shoot. And after some debating and waffling, and pre-measuring, and more waffling, and a little bit more debating, and then some discussion, what's actually going to happen? She's going to back up out of his range. Well, you know, why give him the free shot? You know, she's not, you know, easy to kill, but she's kind of squishy, so it's early in the game. I don't want to give him an easy hit. So, with her mission accomplished, we're just going to move on up. The other nice thing is that I have this long 14-inch threat range with the guns with my mini feet, and so I'm able to really shoot around their melee threat. So I'm going to be able to hit them a lot harder and a lot earlier than they can hit me, which is very advantageous. So just moving my little unit up here. Mini feet, and then they're just going to proceed to roll a bunch of dice. So while this is going on, there's one of the things I really like about Elara's toolbox is there's a lot of different combinations and everything you can bring with her. This particular list I'm using Imperatus and Discordia as the battle group, but I think she synergizes incredibly well with Mana Cores, because she's got the spells to support their D3 shots so they can do these multiple attacks. She also has the ability to put Balanced Charge on them, so they spend the focus, they get that strength buff, they can get the Arcanist buff on top of that, but then you're getting that free charge to kind of make up for the fact that you had to spend that focus for the strength buff. So that's very nice as well. So I think there's a lot of different things you can do with her. One of the things I kind of looked at was Desters maybe in the future. So I definitely think you'll see her again on the channel as to just come up with more ideas and have more painted models to try out with her. I do think she's a really fun and exciting caster. But as we're talking, we're getting some Posse members blown away. It's unfortunate, but it's a circle of life right here. So they'll get pretty much everybody except for that last one, I think. But that's okay. So the threat ranges that we need to be concerned about with his list is obviously the Wrastler and the Swamp Horror are his melee beasts. The Swamp Horror has Elasticity Animus, so he can give the Wrastler an extra 2-inch reach there. And so we're just kind of inching Imperatus up here, making sure we're out of threat range of everything. You know, once you do the 5 inches from Wrastler, then 10, 11 inches I think is his max threat range. We're just going to dump a shot into that last poor Gator. I believe he will tough it, though, so he'll be knocked down and Gator back. Otherwise, Discordia is going to use its imprint. It's going to move up just so it's touching within 3 inches of Imperatus. Again, making sure I'm out of threat range of all his melee beasts, and now I'm getting that benefit against the turtle as well. Up at the top of the screen, we're just running some Sentinels in. They're going to go ahead and mini-feat this turn because they might as well mini-feat this turn. It's probably the best time to use it. I don't think it'll be a huge deal in this game. And then we're sending up 2 sacrificial Sentinels up there. They're going to be there to trigger Vengeance. They're going to be there to block off the Gatorman Posse charge ranges there. So I'm giving up a few guys in order to get a big advantage. Otherwise, I'm having my little arc node just move a little bit closer to Elara, so that way I have the option to affect what I need to on that side of the table.
Okay, this is turn 2, and this is where I lose my pants. Pulled all my fury, paid the upkeep for Death Pact on the Green Gators. The Green Gators advance and surround the objective. Then the Blue Gators activate, chanting Dirge of Mist, and move up. The Mist Speaker then activates, and basically is a waste of my points. The Spitter then activates and tries to target Elara. It falls short, but it's a 4-inch AoE, and I take out a Soulless and a Mechanik. The Boneswarm activates, moves, and pops his Animus. The Wrastler walks over to the tree line, and the Snappers activate, move a little bit, and each of them cast their Animus. Maelok then activates, moves up a little bit, and revives 1 Blue Gator.
So he didn't pop feet defensively, which was a bit of a boo-boo. So we're going to go ahead, and this is going to be my feet turn, and also probably a pretty big work turn for me. So first thing we're going to do is just move up all my Vengeance Sentinels here. I misremembered the range on the Scyir. At first I thought he had it within like his command, but it turns out it's actually within 5 inches. He gets the Righteous Vengeance move. So no moves for him. We caught that. Otherwise, Elara has Apparition. We got the little Light Jack with Apparition if he wants it, which I don't believe he does. And then just some Vengeance swings on the Gatorman Posse there. They do have Death Pact up, which will be pretty impactful. It's a little annoying because it makes it harder to finish them off for my Sentinels. But in the meantime, what we're going to look at doing is having Imperatus go with Scything Touch up. It's pretty unfortunate that I lost 75% of my support models in one go. Yeah, dumb. So we're not going to be able to concentrated power on Imperatus. He's only going to be at a very sad POW 19 with all of his swings, but we'll make do. He'll certainly buff up all the other jacks. In the meantime, he did also resurrect a Gator. We're gonna take care of that problem here real quick with the Invictors. Had he popped feet, I don't know it would have changed my turn over much. I would still be going in, I'd still be looking to get 2 heavies on this go. I'd be looking to get the Turtle to eliminate the shooting threat to Elara, and I'd be looking to get the Wrastler to eliminate Fury from his list of abilities and stacking damage. But then I'd probably be looking more at taking those 5 Sentinels there, piling them into a War Beast, and getting, the POW 14 from the Scything Touch, or maybe using the Victors to soften up a War Beast or two. So the Victors are just moving up. They're gonna start shooting up some Gators, and then once they're done shooting up Gators, they're actually gonna start shooting up some of the what's that little guy called? Misspeaker. The other thing I'm being careful about doing is not leaving them within range of the Boneswarm, just because I really don't want to give him bone tokens if I can avoid it. He's not threatening, but once he can get bone tokens, he's actually kind of aggravating to remove. He'll go up to armor 18, he can go up to armor 20 under feet turn, and then if he's in my zone, then I got to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. So otherwise, just taking a couple shots on the Boneswarm too. I don't think it really hit or did any damage. Certainly nothing significant. One of the things of interest when you're playing Elara is there is some order of activation issues, where if you want to move Scything Touch around and then also use the feet, you have to go with whatever model has Scything Touch first. Right now I've got Scything Touch on Imperatus, so I'm kind of forced into I can't cycle it over through the Arc Node onto the Sentinels. So that may be something where, in future games you look to have it on the units rather than the jacks. That way you can have the unit go, the unit does their work, cycle it over the jack, and now the jack gets the benefit of Scything Touch and Boundless Charge. But in the meantime, we move over, pop feet, toe the zone, hide behind the cloud. So she's nice and safe there. And then we're going to send in Imperatus. He's actually going to go in on the turtle, and then he's going to sidestep, so that way I can get everybody in my melee range. I have enough distance where I'm able to reach and hit the turtle, but be out of the turtle's 1-inch melee range, so I can't get any sort of retaliatory strike or ornery, or I forget whichever rule he's got. Doesn't do that. So it takes a couple swings, but Imperatus is able to drop the turtle, and it'll take the last swing onto the Wrastler. Do a little bit of damage there, just to help out Discordia. Have the final surviving Arcanist move up. He's going to concentrate a power Discordia, so I'm going to go on in. And Discordia is going to be coming in here swinging at Mat 7, POW 20, I believe. So she will be able to take out that Wrastler with minimal effort. Like I said, if he had popped feet, if he had taken, that extra swing to kill the turtle, because, it's got the +2 armor, then I'd still have Discordia going in on the Wrastler, and I'd still have the Sentinels coming in as POW 14 Weapon Master. So I think I set myself up for success pretty well in that area. So with Discordia taking out his other melee threat, now that frees up my Sentinels to do a lot more with that Gatorman Posse and his objective there. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to start with the Scyir, and he's going to use Tactician to just charge through a couple of my guys. And he's going to go and bang on some Posse members himself. And then we're going to have the Sentinels go, and they're going to charge on in. Thankfully they got buffed, they benefit from Relentless Charge, so they have Pathfinder on the charge, which is pretty awesome. They're going to go in, we're going to send some onto some Gators, we're going to send some other ones onto the objective. And this is where him actually making tough rolls and him having that armor buff comes into play a lot, because it'll bump him up to armor 20 in melee, and then he's got the tough rolls on top of that. So I don't kill as many Gators as I'd like to, which is unfortunate because every Gator is 2 attacks, so that's 2 Sentinels who are most likely going down. But I still do a pretty good number on them. Here we have one of the Sentinels is charging a Bull Snapper for fun. And then we've got the Standard and the Soulless Escort running around. So this is where it would have been nice to be able to cycle Scything Touch up onto them. And that's just, it's some inexperience with Elara, it's some order of activation issues, and sometimes you don't always get everything you want, you just gotta kind of suck it up and deal with it. So they're doing a pretty good job chopping through some Posse, and then they're also going to go into the objective as well. So some kills, some redirects, there's the objective for control point, then I'll be dominating my own zone, I'll get a second control point, and so that'll put me up in a pretty good spot for scenario as well. So I have some pressure on scenario, I got some pressure on attrition, and I feel like I've really aggressively taken and controlled the center of the table there. Removing Fury is actually a huge nerf to his army because that takes away 3 damage that he can be doing. The Swamp Horror can do a fair amount with Fury and Mortality together.
Turn 3 is where I lost my whole left side. As you can see, I lose all the blue gators. I lose my Wrastler, my Spitter. Boneswarm takes a little damage, but not much. And I lose half my green gators. So I pull my Fury, pay my upkeep for offering for Death Pact. Green gators activate. They use offerings of Kiosk, hopefully to take out some of the Dawnguard. The snappers try to take out Sylys, do a little bit of damage. Maelok charges and burns as much as he can and does some damage. I knew the game was over at that point. I didn't have enough heavies to defend.
So we're just going to do a little bit of wrap up this turn. Going to do my apparition moves, got to do my vengeance moves with the Sentinels. I got a little bit over clever later on in the turn. I was thinking about putting Boundless Charge onto the Chimera to have him slam through the woods, but if you actually read the card, which is sometimes a good thing, you'll find that he can only charge with Boundless Charge. Go figure. So that plan will end up not coming to fruition. But otherwise we have the Sentinels, they're vengeancing, they're chopping up some Gators. That's all good. Good eats right there. If you never had Gator, it's delicious. They're certainly getting themselves some. In the meantime, upkeeping Scything Touch, we're going to load up Discordia, we're going to load up Imperatus. So just thinking through my order of activations here, just in case something goes wrong. I did need to Phoenix Protocol with Imperatus. He was damaged enough. He did not get removed, but he had a couple systems out. So, in the meantime, I have the Sentinels. They're going to go. They're just securing this zone for me, which is important in case, I want to keep that scenario pressure up just in case something goes wrong. And there's a lot of just in case something goes wrong. Even if you think you got everything set, go through the motions, because you never know. Fortunately for me, he did not get anything into my zone in order to contest last turn, so I'll be pretty good there. Elara goes, she puts Boundless Charge on the Chimera, and then you see me reading the card there, it's exciting. Otherwise she just moves onto the hill, and behind a cloud, and in the zone, so she is even safer. This is a safe podcast. Safe channel. Then we've got Discordia. She's going to go on up. She's going to headbutt. Knock Maelok down. And then chop chop. Chop chop. And that's game. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate it.
Here are my afterthoughts. I really do enjoy playing Maelok. I think he's a great warlock. But I have to find something that will replace those Gators. With Mark III, they are just not as tough as they used to be. If you have any suggestions, please recommend them. If you have any ideas of how I could have turned this around, let me know. I just haven't figured out a way to handle the shooty capabilities of some of these armies I come against. Well, you enjoy. Have a great day.